Hello dear students of class 9th, welcome to history class. I hope all of you are fit and healthy. Students, in this video, I shall be explaining you a few MCQs of the first chapter of history, that is, the French Revolution. Students, before I explain you the MCQs of this chapter, let me do a quick recapitulation of this chapter, that what this chapter is all about, a quick summary. Students, the French Revolution. When we talk about this French Revolution, one date is considered really very important. And what is that date? That date is 14th July 1789. Yes. Now, what is the importance of this date? Why is this date considered so important? Let me tell you that on this date, that means on 14th July 1789, the king, that means Louis XVI, he ordered his men, he ordered his army to move into the city Paris. And when the people of that city, when they saw the military, the people of king with arms and ammunitions, they became scared and they thought that the king had ordered his men to attack on the people. So they became very scared and frightened, and as a result of which, in order to save themselves from that attack, they gathered together and then what did they do? They attacked on the fort of the king, that is the Bastille fort. See, in reality, they were not knowing the reason why the king had ordered his men to move into the city, but they misunderstood things, they misinterpreted things, and as a result of which they attacked on the Bastille fort. So students, this chapter is basically, cut this line. So students, this chapter basically is concerned with this date, and after the attack on the Bastille fort, the revolution began. So this is the chapter all about. I have just provided you a quick recapitulation of it. So students, let's get started with the MCQ session. So the first question, as you can see on the screen, is Louis XVI of the Bourbon family of kings was married to whom? Now the question is regarding the wife of Louis XVI. As you can see, four options are given. Option A, Australian Princess Marie Antoinette. Option B, Austrian Princess Marie Antoinette. Option C, French Princess Elizabeth de France. And option D, Australian Princess Elizabeth de France. Students, let me tell you that Louis XVI, he was married to an Austrian princess, and the name of that princess was Marie Antoinette. That means option number B is the right one. Do not get confused between Austrian and Australian. Please remember that it is Austrian princess. And let me tell you one more point, that when he was 20 years old, he got married to Marie Antoinette. Okay. So students, there is one more question that is hidden in this question that can come in your examination. That means, to which dynasty Louis XVI belonged to? So he belonged to Bourbon dynasty. See, in one question only there are several questions. So you need to analyze all the questions before your examination in order to be fully prepared. Right. So I hope that this question is clear to everybody. Now students, let's proceed with the next question, that is question number 2. So question number 2 is, which of the following are reasons for the empty treasury of France during the old regime? Now students, let me tell you that when Louis XVI ascended the throne, he found an empty treasury, the royal treasury, that was empty. So the question is regarding the reasons of empty treasury of France during the old regime. Now what is the meaning of old regime? See, old regime means the feudal system, that means before the French Revolution, before 1789. So that period or that time or that duration is called as the period of old regime. Alright, so let us see the options. The options are so students, as you can see, 4 points are mentioned and you need to find out that which of the following points are considered as the reasons for empty treasury. Alright, so let us see all the points. Point number A, long years of war had drained the financial resource of France. I'm saying it again. So point number A is long years of war had drained the financial resources of France. Point number B, the cost of maintaining an extravagant court at the immense palace of Versailles. Option C, or point number C, increasing tax on third state. And point D, American War of Independence. So students, which states given or which points given are correct? So let us analyze all the 4 points or all the 4 states. So the first one is long years of war had drained the financial resources of France. Yes, see, that time war between America and Britain was going on, and France supported America, and if France is supporting America, then also it has to help financially, economically. So in case of war, a lot of money is required regarding arms and ammunition, food and everything. A great financial support or help is required at the time of war. And so because of the war between America and Britain, and as France supported America, so what happened? So this financial support had drained the financial resources of France. So this first point is correct. The second one is the cost of maintaining an extravagant court at the immense palace of Versailles. Yeah, the extravagant court, that was really very beautiful, that was mesmerizing, and the maintenance cost of these courts, they are very large. So in order to maintain an extravagant court, a lot of money is required. So that is also one reason of the empty treasury of France. So point second is also correct. Now point third, increasing tax on third state. See, tax was not increased beforehand. Tax was increased when the king found an empty treasury. So in order to fill that empty treasury, tax was increased on the third state. So this is not one reason of the empty treasury of France. So this option will not be there. Now let us see the last point, that is American War of Independence. As I told you that there was a war between America and Britain, and America was under the control of Britain. So in order to get freedom, France supported America, and in this process a lot of money was required. So this also led to the empty treasury in France. So A, B and D, these are the reasons of empty treasury of France when Louis XVI ascended the throne. So now let us see the options. The 4 options are given. Option A, B, C and D, that means all. Option B, A, B and D. Option C, A, C and D, and option D, B, C and D. So the correct option will be option number B, that means A, B and D. So I hope this question is clear to everybody. Now students, let's move to the next question, that is question number 3rd. So question number 3rd is, which states enjoyed privileges by birth? Students, I already explained you that there were 3 states. The complete society was divided into 3 states. The first state, the second and the third. The first state comprised of clergy people, the second state comprised of nobility people, and the third comprised of the poor people, the peasants. So the options are option A, clergy, option B, nobility, option C, the third state, and option D, both A and B. So the question is, which states enjoyed privileges by birth? So if I talk about all the three states, the first state, that means the clergy. The clergy means the people related to the church, means people of topmost priority, the people who were given topmost priority. They were called as clergy. They were the people, or they were related or associated with the church. Now the second state comprised of the nobility people. Now nobility means the ruling class, the ministers of the king. They were the nobility people. And the third state comprised of poor servants, artisans, peasants, lawyers, merchants. It also comprised of some big businessmen. So basically the third state comprised of the poor people. So the poor were not exempted from tax. They had to pay the tax. That means the third state, they were not at all exempted from paying any tax. The first and second state imposed tax on the third state, and the third state had to pay all kinds of taxes. So the first and second states, they enjoyed privileges by birth, what you called nepotism. That means if father is ruling, then his son will only be ruling, and after his son, his grandson will be ruling. So that is called as kind of nepotism, or enjoying privileges by birth. So the correct option will be option number D, both A and B. That means the first state and the second state, they enjoyed privileges by birth. So I hope this question is clear to everybody. Students, I am not only discussing these particular questions, but I am explaining you the content, or I am giving you a complete explanation of the points that are associated with those particular questions, right? Now students, let's proceed with the next question, that is question number 4th. So question number 4th, as you can see on the screen, is tax to be paid directly to the state in French societies is known as dash. The options are option A, tithe, option B, tail, option C, liver, and option D, none of the above. Students, in the previous question only I explained you that the first and second state, they were exempted, they got privileges by birth, and they were not liable to pay any tax. All the taxes were borne by the people of the third state. So let me tell you that during that time, that means during the French Revolution, there were two types of taxes. The first was called as tithe, and the second type of tax was called as tail. Okay. Now what is this tithe and tail? Tithe is a direct tax that is paid directly to the state. So tithe is the direct tax. So from this explanation, you can understand that the answer of this question will be option number A. Oh, please cut this line. I spoke wrong. I'm saying again. After the options I am saying. Oh, I'm saying again. Students, now let's proceed with the next question, that is question number 4th. So question number 4th is, as you can see on the screen, tax to be paid directly to the state in French societies is known as dash. The options are option A, tithe, option B, tail, option C, liver, and option D, none of the above. Students, as I explained you in the previous question, that the first and second state, they were exempted from paying tax. They had certain privileges by birth, and all the taxes, they were borne by the people of the third state. Now students, let me tell you that during the French Revolution, there were two types of taxes. The name of the first tax is tithe, and the second one is called tail. Now let me explain you the meaning of let me explain the meaning of tithe and tail. See students, tithe was the tax that was levied by the church on the peasants comprising 10% of their agricultural produce. That means they were imposed by the clergy people, that means the people of the church, on the peasants For example, if the peasant had grown 100 kgs of rice, then from that 100 kg, 10% of that 100 kg will be given to the clergy people. That means 10 kg will be given to the church people or the clergy people as tax. So, this is called as tithe, the first type. The second is tail. Now, what is this tail? Tail is a direct tax that is paid directly to the state. So, this is a direct tax. So, from this explanation, it is quite evident that the answer of this question will be option number B, that is tail. Now, let us see option C also, liver. Liver is the currency of France. Alright, during that time the currency of France was liver. So, the correct option for this question is option number B, that is tail. Okay students, now let us proceed with the next question, that is question number 5th. So, question number 5th is, which of the following statement is not responsible for subsistence crisis? Students, whenever the word not is there in the question, please be extra active and alert. So, this question is regarding subsistence crisis. Before I go to the options, let me explain you the meaning of subsistence crisis. Students, subsistence crisis is a situation in which the basic means of livelihood are endangered. Right? For example, food, shelter, clothing, these are the basic means of livelihood. So, a situation in which these basic means of livelihood are endangered refers to the situation of subsistence crisis. Now, let us see the options. The options are option A, increase in population, option B, production of grains could not keep pace with the demand of increasing population, option C, the price of bread, which was the staple diet of the majority, rose rapidly, and option D, wages did not keep pace with the rise in prices. Students, let me tell you, during that time there was bad harvest due to severe winter, due to severe cold. Now, if there will be bad harvest, what will be there? Now, if there will be bad harvest, what will be there? Crops will not be grown properly. So, there will be scarcity of food, scarcity of grains. If there will be scarcity of grains, then what will happen? The prices of food grains, they will increase. Definitely, prices will increase. And the poor people who were dependent on grains, their wages did not increase, as a result of which they did not had sufficient money to buy the food grains, and as a result of which what happened? Subsistence crisis occurred, or this situation happened, right? Now, I think with the help of this explanation, you could be easily able to solve this question. So, let us analyze all the 4 points. Point A is increase in population. Definitely during that time population increased. If population will increase, the demand for food grains will increase, and if due to bad harvest, the demand of food grain could not keep pace with the rise in population. So, this is one reason. So, option A is correct. Option B, production of grains could not keep pace with the demand of increasing population. See, this I already explained while explanation of point A. So, this is also one reason. Now, point C, the price of bread, which was the staple diet of the majority, rose rapidly. Definitely, if there will be scarcity of food grains, then price will automatically rise. So, this is also one reason, right? And the last point, wages did not keep pace with the rise in price. The poor people who were working for their masters, they did not increase the wages of the peasants or the people or the workers, and as a result of which, since the wages of the people was less and the price was more, so they were unable to buy the food grains. So, this is also one reason of subsistence crisis. So, all the 4 points are responsible for subsistence crisis, and the question is about not responsible. So, all are responsible. So, the correct option will be option D, that is none of the above. So I hope this question is clear to everybody. And students, let me tell you that subsistence crisis is really a very important topic that you need to study and understand well. So I hope that these questions are clear to everybody. There are few more questions that I'll be discussing in the next video. Till then, thank you so much. Study well, work hard, and do take care of yourself. Thank you so much.